Greetings, y'all. How you doing? Welcome to this edition of Rootwork, not Root, but Rootwork here on Black Liberation Media. My name is Thandisizwe Chimurenga. Thank you all for joining me. Happy Women's History Month, or what I like to call Black History Month Part 2. Please, if you are not already subscribed to Black Liberation Media, if you are not already subscribed to Rootwork on YouTube, please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe, so that you will get notifications of all of the wonderful programming that we have to offer. Black Liberation Media and Rootwork here on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channels and please like and share this program and many other programs. But I usually ask you to like and share here in the beginning before you get upset and hear something that pisses you off, and then you be mad and don't want to like and share at the end. So do it now before you forget and before you get mad. So I see we got some folks over in the comments commenting already. Hey, comrade Tony Hardy, how are you doing today? C. Nicole, am I pronouncing it correctly? How are you doing? Lee Clinton, hey, how are you? I'm not familiar with you, but welcome to the show. Thank you so much. And speaking of welcome to the show, before I forget, let me thank some supporters. Why are you laughing, Tony? I want to thank comrade Tony Hardy for hitting that Cash App or that Venmo. Thank you, Tasha Thomas. Thank you to Patricia Torres. Thank you to Todd Williams. Thank you to How to Be Terrell. I guess Terrell is your real name. Thank you to Carmen. Thank you to Byron Hunter. Thank you to Kevin Atkins. Thank you to Afia Zakia. And thank you to Mac Cubbin. Not sure what your real name is, but thank you. Appreciate you. Really, really do. Real quick, want to let you know, next week is going to be part 2 of the Build and Fight series with Kali Akuno, 4 p.m. next Tuesday here on Rootwork and here on Black Liberation Media. Other special programming is going to be happening here on Rootwork and Black Liberation Media. I want you to know about that. We're going to be doing Can't Stop Our Blackness, looking at the Black Latinx experience with Sister Rosa Clemente. Not sure what days. That's probably going to be on Thursdays, but we'll let you know that. Also, if you saw Dare to Struggle, Dare to Win yesterday with Brother Kwasi Akwamu, speaking with Brother Geechee and Dr. Yusuf Bunchi Shakur, he mentioned a series on New African communism. We'll be talking about that coming up also. So I want to let you know about all of those special programs that are going to be coming up here on Rootwork on Black Liberation Media. All right, if my phone will stop going off and knocking stuff over, we can get to today's program. The new broom sweeps clean, but the old broom knows the corners. So I want to let you know right now, this is going to involve discussion of rape and murder. I don't usually like to talk about those things, and I'm not talking about those things because this is Women's History Month. These are part of an essay that I wrote back in 2021. And I wanted to make this present. I had been looking for an opportunity to bring this content onto Rootwork and onto Black Liberation Media. So I'm doing it now. So just giving you the heads up, I'm bringing this essay that I wrote onto because it's Women's History Month. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I'm not talking about it specifically because it's dealing with the issue of rape and murder, but I'm just giving you that warning that I will be talking about it for those who may be triggered, who might have, for those who might be triggered by that. So that's my warning to let you know. So again, this is an essay I wrote back in 2021 after I watched Michaela Cole's series, I May Destroy You, which aired on HBO. The one-season series chronicles Cole's character's attempts to rebuild her life after being raped at a nightclub. In commenting on this show, I also include some of my thoughts on another HBO show headed by a Black woman writer / protagonist, Insecure and Issa Rae. So, um, I don't know if y'all know this about me. So, in addition to being kind of tech spicy, I get to stuff late. I be doing a lot and trying to do a lot and want to do a lot. And sometimes I can't do it. But I like to watch movies. I like to watch TV. I like being taken away because it's my distraction. However, as Margaret Kimberly says, we don't turn off our brains while we are taking this in. So sometimes I'll watch a show years late, such as Top Boy. But at any rate, I binge watched I May Destroy You back in 2021. And I had some thoughts about it because it brought up something for me. So these are the thoughts that I wanted to share with you all. Now, also, somewhere in here, oh, yes, there they are. Got some photos that I'm going to be sharing just to give you something to look at, other than my beautiful face. But I'm going to be reading to you this essay. And also, again, this is from 2021. So no such thing as spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Insecure, if you haven't seen I May Destroy You, if you haven't seen Top Boy, which I will reference later on, that's too bad because we about to get up into this. All right, now. So the new broom sweeps clean, but the old broom knows the corners. Portrayals of intergenerational dialogue should be more prevalent. And that's referencing a saying that talks about the wisdom or the efficacy of knowledge and wisdom being passed on that elders have to the young. Which season of Insecure? The whole season of Insecure, the whole run of Insecure. But so let me get started. Please don't take this the wrong way. Let me state at the outset that I am a fan of Michaela Cole. So please don't come for me the way you or people adjacent to you come for others like Beyonce's critics. I'm on your team. Beyonce got that Bayhive. If they don't like you talking about that girl, they're going to have a problem with you. Now, this is Michaela Cole in the character of Arabella in I May Destroy You. When I saw that pink hair, I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. But now, real quick. Now, this is the Michaela Cole that I personally prefer. Michaela Cole, a Black British actress, which means she's probably from Nigeria or Ghana or the Caribbean by way of Nigeria or Ghana, predominantly. But here she is on the cover of Vanity Fair, dressed in her traditional garb, her traditional Ashanti or Akan garb. You can see her wearing her kente, her gold, and even her Adinkra symbols. So yes, Black British Ghanaian. But at any rate, this is Arabella, who is the protagonist in the story. So, I love Michaela Cole's I May Destroy You on HBO. I found its presentation to be fresh, exciting, almost otherworldly. I was transfixed every episode. I joined with the chorus of those who exalted Cole, and I was personally happy, for her winning the 2021 Emmy for Outstanding Writing for a limited or anthology series of movie. Her character is a writer in I May Destroy You. But despite all of that, hold on for me 1 second, because I done told y'all text spicy, and now it doesn't want to show me, but I'm reading from my phone. Something has disturbed me ever since I watched the series, something in addition to sexual assault. And I feel that now is as good a time as any to get it off my chest. It's not Cole's writing that I have a problem with. It's not the characters or their arcs. It's not the subject matter. It's the portrayal on screen of the lives of the characters that disturb me. I know it's fiction, work with me. I should also state here that Insecure, with another Black woman protagonist, Issa Rae, has a similar trigger for me. Let me explain as best I can. When I was growing up, there was a family of 5 that lived down the street from me. The oldest child was a girl. Actually, Lynn, not her real name, because these people are still around. But Lynn, the oldest child, actually had an ex-husband and a small child. She was good friends with Jackie, also not her real name because she's still around, who lived directly across the street from me. The story goes that one night, Lynn and Jackie went out to a party. Lynn met a man at that party and left with him. And much later, Lynn's body was found in an alley somewhere here in South Los Angeles. Now, because I was too young to be friends with Lynn, her murder didn't really traumatize me. Maybe it did. At the time, it didn't traumatize me, but I have remembered her and that story all of these years. As a young Black woman growing up, Lynn's death, hold on, let me see. You know, I got to check. Is this thing on? As a young woman growing up, Lynn's death was not the only cautionary tale in my catechism into Black womanhood. I had a mother, an older sister, and at least one aunt who would tell me the do's and don'ts of dating men, many of which would be repeated once my niece was born. The first rule, if not one of the first, was that if you go somewhere together with your friends, you leave together with your friends. You do not split up. Imagine how shocked I was to find out that all young Black women did not know that, and that all young Black women did not have the benefit of wise counsel from older women. Now, again, this is when I'm a young girl, a young woman. I'm naive. I ain't know. So my experience is, I'm not arguing that my experience should be the template for all Black folks, Black women. I'm just saying this was my experience. I actually like, wait, you didn't know that? You ain't had nobody tell you that? Okay. Now, in Michaela Cole's I May Destroy You, the protagonist, Arabella, goes to a bar with her friend Simon and some other folks. Her drink is spiked, not by Simon, that's important, and she is sexually assaulted. As the story unfolds, because we don't get it all, of course, in that first episode, as we go along, we find out that she had been left behind at the bar. In fact, her friend Simon, who wants to leave with his undercover lover, calls Arabella's best friend Terry. Terry was not with them that night. But he's concerned because he wants to get up out of there and go get with his shorty. He's like, dang, do I leave her? What do I do? So what does he do? He does, quote unquote, the smart thing. He calls her best friend. So he calls Terry and asks what to do because he feels conflicted. It's Terry, Arabella's best friend, who gives him the go-ahead. He's like, yeah, that's how she do. It's okay. Go on and leave her, dude. Go on and leave her. Arabella, as we see over the show, over the length of the show, Arabella eventually learns the truth of what happened that night. And in one of the most touching scenes I have ever witnessed on screen, she forgives Terry for her role in this tragedy. Actually, let's see. Like I told you. So this is, what's the sister's name? Weruche Opia, here on the right, that's Terry. And this is Michaela Cole as Arabella. So this is her best friend. This is her girl. This is her dog, her day one, boom, coon, whatever you, that's her. That's her girl. And her girl says to the dude, to the brother, Simon here, go on and leave her. It's okay. And that's how she ends up being sexually assaulted. So we follow Arabella as she grapples with this, attempting to remember what happened to her. She's having flashes like, wait a minute. She's trying to remember, wait a minute, I think I was sexually assaulted. So we follow Arabella as she grapples with attempting to remember her rape, as well as what comes with such a violation. And in looking at the lives of her friends, we're also looking at how they're dealing with issues of sex, of sexuality, sex, consent, dating, etc. While most of Arabella's life revolves around her friends and her writing career, in one episode, we see her at a family dinner where during a break, she tells her mother, portrayed by Michelle Greenridge, what happened to her. Okay, this is Michelle Greenridge. This is the actual, okay, this is the photo. This is the woman portraying Arabella's mother. And I don't know how well you can see it, but if, just get close up to the monitor. It's like she's looking straight ahead. Everybody else is looking at the plate or the food. Here's Michaela Cole, who's gotten rid of that pink hair, thank God. And she's giving them more food, but the mama is staring straight ahead, right? So at this family dinner during a break, Arabella, Michaela Cole, tells her mother what happened to her. Now, herein lies my issue. We are shown that Arabella's mother is a loving figure whose happiness is having her children near her, as evidenced by her dialogue. Everybody at the family eating together. My mother would be like that during Christmas. All her babies, her grandbabies, we're all here together under one roof in her living room, at her table, eating her food. Okay. In the following scene, we can tell that Arabella's mother was devastated to learn that her child had been the victim of such a horrendous attack. We can see her doing all she can to keep it together at the dinner table. Watching her struggle was almost as devastating as the event she was reacting to. So there's a break in the dinner. They're upstairs in Arabella's bedroom, and the mama comes in. We don't hear what Arabella tells her. The very next scene is this. We can see that Arabella is about to tell her something. It flashes off of that. I forget exactly what it goes to, but at some point, we're back here at the dinner table, and you can tell her whole expression has now changed. It's obvious not only did Arabella tell her what happened to her, she told her not to tell her father or brother. So now mama is just sitting here like, what do? I want to do something. My child has been violated horrifically, and I don't know what to do. So all of the joy she had initially felt is now gone. But okay, so getting back to what my issue is. It was profound enough that Arabella tells her mother. She's obviously got this kind of relationship where she can talk to her mom about this. Am I to believe that Arabella's mother never spoke with her about partying do's and don'ts when she was coming up as a young Black woman? I doubt it, but I didn't see it. I didn't see that portrayed on screen. Which comes to the reason for this essay. Why are the portrayals of young Black people in film and TV, specifically women, interacting with elders for counsel and guidance, seemingly non-existent? Now, yeah, I know my photos are all out of order. Just work with me. In an episode of Insecure, Issa Rae, right? This is Molly, portrayed by Yvonne Orji. This is Issa Rae's road dog, Ace, day one, right? She attends the vow renewal of her parents. Not sure how long they had been married, but they had obviously been married more than 20, possibly 30 years. So she goes to the vow renewal of her parents, and that's where she finds out, because the aunties is over in the corner gossiping, that's where she finds out that her father cheated on her mother many moons ago. The news is overwhelming to Molly, who now has a different opinion of her father. Yet, as I keep stating, this is occurring at the vow renewal. So obviously, mom and dad are good now, right? But check this out. This is also occurring at the exact same time that Molly herself is engaged in a relationship with a married man. That's this brother right here, Sarunas Jackson. His character's name is Dro, and I think Dro grew up across the street from Molly. But Dro's married now, and Dro feeds her the line of, "Oh, my wife, we good." It's wife, mind you, not girlfriend, wife. We got an open relationship. Okay. And of course, Molly fell for it. But the point being here, let me get back to this essay. Silly hypocrisy aside, Molly has two living parents, still married to one another, in an obviously loving relationship they have chosen to celebrate by renewing their vows. How are these two people, her parents, not the default go-to for dating and relationship advice? How? Some people, this is 2025, some people believe, I'm talking about black folks, still believe in arranged marriages. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying your mom and daddy been married all this time, had an issue of infidelity, which you yourself are engaging in right now. How are you not asking them for advice? And anyway, here in the United States, black parents have the talk with their male children, and increasingly their female children, about ways to safely interact with law enforcement. The concept of the talk and its contents have been widely documented. Don't run, keep your hands where they can see them, don't talk back or get smart, be polite. Less discussed, I believe, or less widely known, is the talk that many black women have with their daughters on ways to safely interact with men. Don't be up in no man's face. Don't get in cars with strangers. Stay away from dark or secluded areas. Don't leave your drink unattended. And as mentioned earlier, if you go somewhere together with your friends, you leave together with your friends. You do not split up. The talk for black girls and young women is not as well documented in popular culture, but it does exist. And this is where, no, that's not it. I'll come back to that. Now, it's not my intention to victim blame survivors of sexual assault. And I sincerely hope it's also not my impact. My concern is the seeming lack of communication between the young and elders, specifically women, when it comes to advice, counsel, and guidance. I know this is fiction I'm watching, whether based on real life or true stories, is actually not relevant. What is relevant is the power of our imagination to create the reality that we want, the reality that we should and must see, the reality that we need. Relationships between black women and their daughters can be very complicated, but it's absolutely, positively, entirely possible that Arabella's mom never ever sat her down to have the talk with her. It's also possible that Molly felt any advice her mama gave her was worthless. Would seeing how those interactions occurred have taken away from their stories on screen? That is my question. That is my concern. I'm greatly appreciative of the advice given to me by women folk as I was growing up. I also understand that no one person's upbringing or experiences should be the template for us all. The wisdom gained from a variety of black women's lived experiences is more than deserving of a prominent place in the narratives of black creatives. It's as necessary as the air we breathe, and I'd love to see it. Now, let me go into a couple of notes real quick. Again, I mentioned these when I talked about Lynn and Jackie earlier. Those are not their real names. Those people are still alive. There is an essay on avclub.com. I don't know if it's called audiovisual, but I came across an essay when I was writing this. The writer's name is Ashley Ray Harris. She had been writing about Insecure. She was writing about I May Destroy You, and I May Destroy You introduces Arabella's family in a moving episode. this paragraph from her essay struck me. She says, quote, "To keep something from your mom is to deny its existence in a way from being entirely real. When you tell your mom something, that you fought with a friend or an ex, that a horrific thing happened to you, it suddenly has to be confronted in a way that's different than talking to friends or a therapist about it. At least this is true for Black people." And I know some of y'all gonna argue about that. Fine, whatever. Once my mom knows something, there's no going back. So I agree that once you tell your mama something, it's a whole new ball game going on, right? Let me see real quick. Let me look at these photos. I told y'all I'm tech spicy. Did I get it all? Okay, so this is Molly. This is Issa Rae's road dog best friend from Insecure. This is the dude she's having an affair with, even though she got an attitude with her daddy for cheating on her mama. Okay, fine. I know it's her mama. Fine, whatever. This is the scene at the dinner table after Arabella has told her mother that she was raped. And again, just get up close to the screen. If you can see this, the cursor is on her eye. This woman's looking straight ahead. Whereas she was talking and happy earlier, now she's just sitting there barely eating her food. She don't know what to do. She is trying to keep it together at the dinner table. And it was a hell of a scene. So this is Arabella when we first meet her with the pink hair. And as you see at this point, she shaved her head now. She's a writer. This is Issa Rae and I forgot the boy's name, but Lawrence. His name is Lawrence. There was an episode of Insecure where Lawrence was asking his father for relationship advice. That was rather refreshing. He says to his father, I don't have it. Okay. But anyway, he says to his father, who was played by Harry Lennox, I started to say Connix, Harry Lennox. He says, "I want an easy relationship like you and mom had." And, it is the job of parents to protect their children. Part of that protection is keeping shit from you, right? So Harry Lennox says to Lawrence, "Your mama and I had steamer trunks full of baggage." It wasn't no easy relationship. It took work, right? Children don't always know that. This brother, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. It's A-M-L Amin, but he portrays Simon. This is the friend who was out with Terry that night and left her at the bar. This is Terry's best friend. This is Terry, Arabella's best friend. Simon calls her and says, "What do I do?" Because he want to tiptoe off with his shorty. "She gonna be all right? Do I leave here?" Terry's like, "Yeah, that's what she did." Because basically Arabella's now, drunk and acting up at the club. And Terry's like, "Yeah, that's what she do. Go on and leave her." And that's when the sexual assault occurs. Like I said, Terry knows the truth of what happens, of course. She tells Simon, "Do not tell her. Don't tell her." But even though she says that, she's doing everything she can to help Arabella deal with this sexual assault, other than saying, "I told him." She's trying to help her get therapy. She's trying to, be there for her, take her out on a girls trip, just be there for her. And at one point, I guess it's once she lets Terry know that she knows, and Terry starts looking like Arabella's mama, like she can't even look her in the eye. But Arabella tells her, "You are amazing. You know that? You my girl." And that's how we know that Arabella has forgiven her and it's all good, right? So I wanted to mention real quick, like I said earlier, I get to stuff late. I just watched the other day, binge watched twice now, Top Boy on Netflix. I didn't watch it when it first came out because drugs, I don't want to see that. But I got bored, which is what happens, and I'll end up pressing play. I am glad that I watched it. One of the reasons why I watched it, I mean, one of the reasons I'm glad I watched it, the nuances and portrayals of the women characters throughout the series. One, and this is how this is related to what I'm talking about today, kind of, sort of. One of the characters' name is Mandy. She used to be about that life. She ends up going to prison for manslaughter. Her dude, baby daddy, who's one of the drug dealers, gets killed. Now she's out and she's raising the child they had together. I forgot the girl's name, but at any rate, Mandy knows that her daughter and this little boy, like each other. She comes home early one day and they're like, "Oh Lord, hey mom, hi, how you doing? Oh, what y'all doing? Studying? Uh-huh." So they end up preparing dinner. The little boy stays for dinner. And the mama, Mandy, she's looking at him as they looking at each other, goo eye. She's like, "All right, check this out. Let me tell y'all something." She gives them a little speech with 3 points. Okay, number one, you two need to remember to protect your feelings. Be respectful and careful with each other's feelings as well as your own so that you don't get hurt. Number two, don't put nothing on the internet because that shit lives forever. These are her words. And number three, I am not ready to be a grandmama just yet. So that's the speech that she lays down, which of course embarrasses her daughter. My point being is that we see her imparting this wisdom to the daughter. And I appreciated that being on screen. Top Boy is written by a white dude, but I appreciate the writing and the nuance. Rowan somebody, I don't remember his name, but Rowan is Irish. Top Boy takes place in London. If you know anything about the Irish, they hate the British. And unlike The Wire, which told us we're going to look at, not only that, we're going to look at the drug game from all of these different aspects, but we're also going to look into the lives of the cops and the drug dealers. Top Boy ain't looking at the cops' lives. They're only looking at the lives of the black folks. And actually, Top Boy's summer house is the beginning. It takes place in this housing project. So we're looking at the lives of the people in the housing project and their relationship to the drug game and the drug dealers and etc. If you have not seen Top Boy, I suggest that you watch it. But at any rate, I like how she handled that. They also went to the clinic to get testing. I want to call her Lauren, but that's not her name. Lauren is another character. I forget little girl's name. Little girl is smart. She might be a little too smart for her own good. She tells the young brother, if we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, let's go to a clinic and get tested. Well, and the dude admits to her, I've never had sex. Neither has she. Well, then why we got to get tested? Because so-and-so's older sister's boyfriend says he got chlamydia from sitting on a toilet seat. So let's go. And I was like, oh, okay. She's young. She don't know. But the fact that she want to get tested, she's a smart little girl. She's a smart little girl. Ronan Bennett, I believe. Okay. Thank you, Yipper. That's the name of the dude who wrote Top Boy. He's Irish. And if you, obviously you know because you've seen it, an Irish woman, and there's an Irish connection inside of Top Boy anyway. So yeah. I didn't make it very far and I may destroy you. I'm going to pick it up back now after this conversation. You know, I don't really struggle. I know some people like, don't tell me. And sometimes I'm like, you can tell me, I'll be all right. But like, it's been years now. There's no such thing as a spoiler now. Come on, people. Y'all supposed to be quicker for me. But anyway. Talking about Insecure and Molly, that is an infidelity if their boundaries were agreed upon. Yeah. I don't know if Molly is trying to snoop around and figure out this. You said she was cool. Does she really know about us? I don't really remember if the boundaries were agreed upon. But hey, that's just me. Hey, Lorna, how you doing? This is the same critique of the role of the matriarch, Granny and Precious, because ain't no way. I like to watch movies. I like to watch TV. I like the suspension of disbelief, even though I don't turn my brain off. But some things I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to see that. So I've never seen Precious. Not sure I'm going to. I haven't seen, what's the one? Not 12 Years a Slave, the one that Nate, I started to say Nate Dogg. What's Nate? Nate Parker. I haven't seen Nate Parker's Nat Turner. But you know, it might just I might just need a few more years before I watch it. But for the most part, I rarely boycott something. I usually just can't get to it. Let's see. Anybody else have any thoughts that they will I be sharing the link to the essay? I can. I knew somebody was going to ask that and going to make me type it in. I don't know what the dang link is. But if you go to medium.com, you'll see it. Medium.com, look for my name, Thandisizwe Chimurenga, and you will see that. It's pronounced cynical. Oh, okay. Now, hold on. Hold on. Where we go? I will never watch Precious. Oh, okay. That's true. It is based on a book. I don't know if I want to do that though. What's the sister's name? I think her name is it Zane? Is that the one who wrote Precious? Yeah, I'm not sure I want to do that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't see Precious. It's definitely not in my immediate future. That's not going to happen. But it may be in the future. I don't know. But at any rate, if you just now tuning in, shame on you. I was talking about the on-screen portrayals of intergenerational dialogue. Why is it that? Because a lot of these shows that's out here, if you a millennial or Generation X, y'all is wilding and you need some elders help. Y'all need help. So I'm like, do y'all talk to your mamas and daddies and grandparents and aunties and older friends of your mamas and daddies at all? It ain't nobody that y'all can talk to. Now, going back real quick, when I talked about the advice that I was given by the women in my family, quote unquote, the talk, I do know that there are sisters who have had the talk, quote unquote, or advice given to them, if not from the women they are related to, aunties, grandmamas, mothers, big sisters, their sister friends have told them, don't do da 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 da. Unfortunately, sometimes it's because of experiences that they have had. So there's a sharing there. That sharing does sometimes occur. But I'm asking about why we're not seeing this more often, why the interactions between folks in the generations is not part of the lives. We saw Issa Rae's mama on, I think, one episode of Insecure. And if you know anything about children's, and I'm saying this as a former child, we be calling on our parents. We call on them for financial help, but we don't. Why is it that we're not seeing calling on them for advice, etc.? Now, I know part of the reason for that, I know, is because of the Vernon philosophy. We should not look to any of these products that are going to point us in a way towards liberation or going to point us toward a positive portrayal. I know that. I also know we're going to still watch. We're going to still watch because some of us, and it's me, I'm some of us, like the distraction, like to be taken away, like to be entertained. So we still gonna watch. But I also believe in we put forth, this is what I want to see. So in addition to, yeah, I want to see more cinema, more media fare that helps us access, take, exercise, control power, deal with the issues of actual power, of liberation. I also want to just see some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. Some of that elder wisdom be pointing you to the Bible. Yeah, that tells you to stay with an abuser or in someone who's into infidelity. Yeah, no. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why you're not interested in hearing what they got to say. I do hear you on that, but all of them ain't gonna do that. My sister was one of the ones who, um, she was one of the ones who coordinated the new member classes at her church. So my sister was a Christian. She also gave me that advice when I was younger growing up and repeated it to her daughter, right? So there are some people who are, the ones we call the Bible thumpers, they just in their bag, which is that book, and they can't see their way out of it. And there's other people who are practical, like, look, look, right? So we've only been on, how long have we been on? 44 minutes. Ooh, I'm gonna be under an hour once again. I don't consider myself to be a content creator. I am a journalist and a writer. I know some folks think, what's the difference? Yeah, okay, fine. But as I said, this was an essay that I wrote after watching I May Destroy You. I had been watching Insecure for all of its seasons. I May Destroy You was just one season. It was a limited series. And it was based on something that actually happened to Michaela Cole. Um, I'm not always reviewing things. I'm not a reviewer because I don't know how to watch a film and not tell you everything that happens. I don't know how to tell you how to not spoil it for you. But because I am a writer, I do get these urges sometimes to write my thoughts out. And this is something that I had been wanting to share now that it's Women's History Month, aka Black History Month, part 2. I thought this would be a good opportunity to do this. So I hope that this has resonated with some of you. I hope that you could understand where I'm coming from. I appreciate all of y'all being in the chat, taking time away from your schedule today to chop it up with me here on Rootwork on Black Liberation Media. Please, once again, like, share, and subscribe. Before I get up out of here, if you got any more comments or any questions, you hit the chat. I'll see if I can answer them real quick. Oh, by the way, I got some new glasses. I don't know if y'all can tell. Them other glasses, I was having some difficulty getting out to the eye doctor, so I was trying to Negro rig them. Those of you old enough to know what I'm talking about, with the red, black, and green up in the middle. I know it didn't work. I did the best that I could. That was super glue and some fabric that I had. I couldn't find any red, black, and green frames for this prescription. I'm going to keep looking, though. But other than that, thank you again to Tasha Thomas, to Tony Hardy, to Patricia Torres, to Todd Williams, How to Be Terrell, to Carmen, Byron Hunter, Kevin Atkins, Afia Zakia, and Mac Cubbin for supporting the show, of supporting Rootwork and supporting Black Liberation Media. That Cash App and that Venmo are rolling, scrolling across the screen. Were there any films from the Pan-African Film Festival you would recommend? I did not go to the Pan-African Film Festival, but trust me, I recommend all of them, every last one of them. That's one thing I can say about the Pan-African Film Festival. Babu, who, what is Babu's last name? I don't forgot Babu's last name. Anyway, Babu Ayuko Babu, one of the founders of the Pan African Film Festival here in Los Angeles. I believe it's the largest Pan African Film Festival in the world. He co-founded that with Danny Glover and Jeanne Dubois. When I would bring Ayuko Babu onto KPFK to promote the film festival, I would always start out talking about how much I hate the Pan African Film Festival. I hate the Pan African Film Festival. You know why I hate the Pan African Film Festival? Because there are scores, dozens, scores, if not hundreds, of wonderful films from throughout the world that I can't see once the film festival is over. Babu told me that that has to do with distribution and licensing. I don't care. You got the films, show them for the rest of the year. Wonder, I first saw, what was the one? What was the City of God? I first saw City of God at the Pan African Film Festival. It blew us away. What was the name of that film? The Caribbean Cultural Center in New York, Marta Morena Vega. Now I've forgotten the name of the film. Wonderful film on the Orishas, on Santeria, Pan African Film Festival. 41st and Central. 41st and Central, if you're here in Los Angeles, you know Brother Gregory Everett, peace to him, may he rest in peace, passed away a couple of years ago. Been working on this film for years, talking about the LAPD SWAT team's attack on the Black Panther Party headquarters. Wonderful footage, interviews with Geronimo Jijaga, Roland and Ronald Freeman, Elaine Brown, Erica Huggins, Kathleen Cleaver. Can't find it in distribution. But we here in Los Angeles, every now and then he would do a community screening, but he presented it to the world at the Pan African Film Festival. Can't find it hardly nowhere unless you got a bootleg copy. Usman Simbini films, just wonderful, wonderful. So if you have, they've got, it's February of every year. They've got an online option after the in-person film festival ends. So I don't know it. Well, it's March now. It's probably over with. But keep your eyes open for films, Quayle TV and other platforms. Now it's becoming a lot easier to see films from all over the place. In terms of the Pan African Film Festival in particular, I think once February is over with, you ain't gonna see those films again unless they get a distribution deal. I can't see my y'all got to work with me. My memory. It was a film about a sister in Mali or Sarunia. I don't know if she's Mali, Senegal, one of the French West African Muslim countries. African warrior queen who took on the French. The brother who did the film, he may have passed by now. I saw him at the Pan African Film Festival years ago. I'm like, bro, where the film at? He's like, I ain't got no distribution deal. If you live in a city like Miami, American Black Film Festival, I think Atlanta, I'm not sure if they have the Bronze Lens Film Festival. A lot of different cities have film festivals. If there's a Black film festival in your city or adjacent to your city that you can get to, check out those film festivals, because that may be, unfortunately, until times change, the only way you're going to get to see some absolute gems. That was a long answer, wasn't it? What else? What else? What else? What else? Thank you so much. Is that stabilized? Noted. Never will I see Precious. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to advocate for you to go see it. So, it's all good. No, I don't think it's Sarafina. Sarafina was the film with Whoopi Goldberg about South Africa. This is a film called Sarunia, Sarrounia. You've seen, well, okay. All right. Oh, my bad. It's not stabilized. It's stabilized. Y'all got to work with me. Anyway, All right, stay blessed. Said your name all wrong. You are very, very welcome. Like I said, I appreciate you all hanging out here with me. 4:53. All right, now you know Mr. Arthritis is knocking at the door. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate, sorry for jacking up your name like that. You know Mr. Arthritis is knocking on the door. I'm about to go answer that door. This is your last call. This is your last call. You got a question? You got a comment? Where is that? There's a new African film festival in DC. You better go. I'm not gonna say hook your sister up, hook your girl up with a pass while you're there. I'm not gonna say that. But if you do it, I ain't gonna turn it down. Hopefully they'll have an online option, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you've got a film festival in your city or a city, you know, Gerald Horn, you don't know, I'm telling you now. Gerald Horn, I believe he's in Texas, that University of Texas or University, I forget where he is. Anyway, the point being, Gerald Horn don't live in LA. Gerald Horn religiously makes a pilgrimage to Los Angeles every February for the Pan-African Film Festival. Every February. Did you hear what I said? Every February. He is here for the Pan-African Film Festival. If you have never attended the there was a time when, I don't know what happened this year, they were in Culver City, which is, you know, adjacent to Los Angeles. But in South LA, there's the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall, which is undergoing the whole gentrification thing. And as part of that mall was it used to be the Magic Johnson Theater. Magic took his name off it. I'm not sure who owns it now. But there used to be, the film festival would be at the theater. And then right across the parking lot in the mall, hundreds of African vendors from around the world, in addition to local Black businesses. So it's not just a film festival, it's an experience, which is one reason why Gerald Horn be here every February. I'm sure it's right. Another great experience this year at PAF in Culver City instead of in Baldwin Hills. Right. I remember, Michelle, you told me that. Were there vendors there also? Because that was also, like I said, it's an experience. You get to see all of these beautiful films, wonderful films. You get to meet people, network with folk. There are panels and discussions with those filmmakers and with how to network and get your film financed or how to break into the industry. But you've also got the experiences of the vendors and folks. So it's usually a wonderful experience. So, all right, I got 456. Oh, there were no vendors this year. Okay, maybe next year they'll bring it back to Baldwin Hills. Yeah, they've had the artwork. It's yeah. We might be living in the past, Michelle, but we can tell you about some experiences at the Pan-African Film Festival. It's the kind of thing of you need to experience this at least once in your life. And again, they probably doing the same thing in Miami at the American Black Film Festival or the Bronze Lens Film Festival. There's a Langston Hughes Film Festival. New York has a Black Panther Party Film Festival that Kathleen Cleaver started a few years ago. So if you want to get on your Black cinema from around the world, I believe it was, it was, okay, y'all, what's the film from? Tsotsi, Tsotsi, Tsotsi. I saw that at the Pan-African Film Festival. Tsotsi is an old film, 10 years, maybe 15 years, hell, 20 years. I don't remember anymore. If you have never seen Tsotsi, you need to see Tsotsi. This is a post-apartheid South Africa. One of the most wonderful films I have ever seen. Black people in general, Black men in particular, as villains on film rarely, especially here in the US, are rarely afforded redemption. Rarely do we see them redeem themselves. All human beings are capable of redeeming themselves. As you know, under white supremacy, who was that? Was it Descartes who was wondering if black people actually had a soul? Shit like that. Of course, all people can redeem themselves, but under white supremacy, because we have no souls, because we are criminalized from birth, our nature is criminal. There is never a redemption for us. Tsotsi, to me, is a beautiful film of redemption. And at the end, the brother lived. He didn't get shot down by the police at the end, which would have happened had that film been made here in the US. Like I was saying about Top Boy, The Wire was a phenomenon in its own right, but it's coming to us from a crime reporter and a former cop. So their reality or their lives experiences are inserted into this story about, quote unquote, the drug game. In Top Boy, it's written by an Irishman who ain't got no love for the British. So we don't see the British cops go home and talk about their day out in the world, out in the jungle with the natives. You don't get that because it was an Irish dude who the Irish are acutely aware of what it's like to be an oppressed colony, an oppressed nation. One of the reasons they have always stood in support of Black liberation, one of the reasons they are supporting Palestine right now. And before I get off on another rant, it's 4:59. I'm going to get up out of here. When is it for 2025? When is what for 2020? Ooh, I know you're not asking when is the Pan-African Film Festival. Baby, it's gone. PAFF.org, PAF.org. There might be a San Diego Black Film Festival, but I'm not really sure. But again, look around, y'all. Look around. I'm going to say this one more time. If there's a film festival in your city, or if you are adjacent to a Black film festival, get your behind to that Black film festival. You will not regret it. Ha! An Irishman who, according to Wikipedia, is accused of being with the IRA. Hell, they probably are with the IRA, just like they say all the Palestinians are with Hamas. And before I go, let me just say, I just want to say real quick, there's a picture out there. This has nothing to do with, the only thing this has to do with is the Irish. This doesn't have anything to do with the subject matter for today. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get out of here. Y'all know that photo you've seen of Gloria Steinem, who people consider to be the foremost promoter of feminism, who people hate. It's a picture of her standing next to a sister with the black fist. She's got an afro. Of course, that woman's name has escaped me at this moment. I got it written in my notes, but I have short-term memory issues. That sister, her first husband was a white man. He was an Irishman who was reported to be a member of the IRA, the Irish Republican Army. So when folks talk about the links and relationships between Ireland and the Irish and Black liberation, pay attention. Pay attention to that. Joy James be talking about her, I think. We talking about it, and I can't remember the next sister's name. That's disrespectful, and I have to do better. Start writing people's names down. But at any rate, it's 5:02. I'm not going to keep yapping up here just to keep yapping. I try not to do that. I try to bring you information that if it's not informative, at least is entertaining. I hope that I have done that with you today. Again, this is something that I've been wanting to share. And this essay that I wrote in 2021, you can find it. The new broom sweeps clean, but the old broom knows the corners. You can find that on medium.com. I have thanked my supporters for today. Again, remember, next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m. here on Rootwork and Black Liberation Media, the Build and Fight series with Kali Akuno of Cooperation Jackson. Be on the lookout for Can't Stop Our Blackness and Rosa Clemente. Be on the lookout for the New African Communism series. And Dorothy Pittman, go ahead, Yipper. Thank you. Yes, that is the name. So be on the lookout for that and other programming, not just from me, but from other folks here on Black Liberation Media. Like, share, subscribe, and when you get a moment and you get the inclination, hit that Cash App, hit that Venmo, hit that Patreon, all right? So yeah, Mr. Arthritis is knocking, and I'm about to go answer the door. You all, thank you again so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the show, please like it and share it. You all take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.